Madhav, Jaya Kund Viharu, Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Kund Radha Madhav, Jaya Kund Viharu, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Manushriyama. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Manushriyama. Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu. Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu. Jai Radha Madhav, Jai Radha Madhav, Jai Radha Madhav, Shri Radhe. Jai Radha Madhav, Jai Radha Madhav, Jai Radha Madhav, Shri Radhe. Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Jai Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar, Shri Radhe. Jai Radha Madan, Radha Madan. Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radhe Jai Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath. Mata, Radha Gopinath Sri Radhe Jaya. Radha Gopinath Sri Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra Sri Radhe Jaya. Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra. Gauramika, 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 Ita Jaya Gauramika, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya 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 Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guru. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So not many devotees today, but thanks Prabhuji for joining, and maybe some of session now. Hare Krishna. So chapter of 4 canto, 31st and 32nd sloka. So we'll start now. I'm just projecting the sloka on the screen slowly. Just a minute, I'm just opening all the sloka. व्यासं तदोजय मुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवत ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानं चैतन्यमनोभिषं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखं जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्श्वरी विश्वानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. I'm reading now. Abdo bhavatanmin ro yadyato bhagavattunuh yam jida smata yajnena yasyasta tanavaha suraha. By Srila Prabhupada. No, not. Vidyaha avatam by all of you. Indraha, the king of heaven. Yat Bhagavad Tanuhu, body of Supreme Personality of God. Yam, whom? Yasnena, from his sacrifice. Yasya, of Indra. Ishtaha, being worshipped. Tanava, part kill Indra, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that you have God. Hare Krishna. Yeah, we sorry. So I'm just putting it on some other here. Just give me 2 minutes so that we don't get here. Tadidam pashyata mahat dharma vyaktikara vijaha indrinath stitam radnyaha karma tad vijigyas smataha. Word to word translation. Tat, then, idam, this, pashyata, just see, mahat, great, dharma, of religious life, vyatikaram, violation, dvijaha, O great brahmanas, indrena, by Indra, anushtitam, perform, rajnaha, of the king, karma, activity, etat, this sacrifice, vijigam sasta, desiring to impede. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. In order to make trouble and impede the performance of King Prithu's great sacrifice, King Indra has adopted some means that is in future will destroy the clear path of religious life. I draw your attention to this fact. If you oppose him any further, he will further misuse his power and introduce many other irreligious systems. Next shloka. Prutukirte pruturbhayat tarhi ekona satkrutaha alam te krutubhihi swister yad bhavan moksha dharma vit. Word to word translation. Prutu kirte hai, of wide renown. Prutho, of King Pruthu. Bhuyat, let it be. Tarhi, therefore. Eka une satkrutuhu, he who performed 99 yagyas. Alam, there is nothing to be gained. Te, of you. Krutubi, by performing sacrifices. Su ishtaha, well performed. Yat, because. Bhavan, yourself. Moksha Dharmavit, the knower of the path of liberation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Let there be only 99 sacrificial performance of Maharaj Prithu. Lord Brahma concluded. Lord Brahma then turned towards Maharaj Prithu and informed him that since he was strongly aware of path of liberation, what was the use in performing more sacrifices? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Brahma came down to pacify King Prithu regarding his continual performance of 100 sacrifices. King Prithu was determined to perform 100 sacrifices, and King Indra took this very seriously because Indra himself was known as performer of 100 sacrifices. Just as it is nature of all living entities within this material world to become envious of other competitors, King Indra, although king of Heaven, was also envious of King Prithu and therefore wanted to stop him from performing 100 sacrifices. Actually, there was a great competition, and the king Indra, to satisfy his senses, began to invent so many irreligious systems to obstruct King Prithu. To stop these irreligious inventions, Lord Brahma personally appeared in the sacrificial arena. As far as Prithu Maharaj was concerned, he was a great devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, it was not necessary for him to perform the prescribed Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Such a ceremonies are known as karma, and there is no need for devotee in the transcendental position to execute them. As the ideal king, however, it was King Pruthu's duty to perform sacrifices. A compromise was therefore to be worked on. By the blessings of Lord Brahma, King would become more famous than King Indra. Thus, King Pruthu's determination to perform 100 sacrifices was indirectly fulfilled by blessings of Lord Brahma. Navadyo bhavatam indro yad yad yajyo bhavatat tanuhi yam jidansato yadnena yashtashtastanoha suraha. Lord Brahma addressed them thus: My dear sacrificial performance, you cannot kill Indra, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that Indra is as good as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, he is one of the most powerful assistants of Personality of Godhead. You are trying to satisfy all the demigods by the performance of this yajna. But you should know that all these demigods are but parts and parcels of Indra, the king of heaven. How then can you kill him in great sacrifice? Tadidam pashyat mahat dharma vyatikaran dvijaha indrena anutistam rajnaha karmatait vijita jigan sataha. In order to make trouble and impede the performance of King Pruthu's great sacrifice, King Indra has adopted some means that is in future will destroy the clear path of religious life. I draw your attention to this fact. It is if you oppose him any further, he will further misuse this power and introduce many other irreligious streams. Shri Prutakirte Pruturbhayat Tarhe Ekona Satkrito Alamte Krutubihi Swastir Yat Bhavan Moksha Dharmavit. Let there be only 99 sacrificial performance for Maharaj Prithu. Lord Brahma concluded. Lord Brahma then turned towards Maharaj Prithu and informed him that since he was thoroughly aware of the path of liberation, what was the use in performing more sacrifices? Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Two sloka doesn't have purport. One sloka we read the purport. Hare Krishna. So we start the discussion now. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमदे जय पताका स्वामी निति नामने नमो आचार्य पदाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिने गौरगतदमदाय नगर ग्राम तारिणे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thanks once again, devotees, for joining the Srimad Bhagavatam ISKCON Seshadripuram Zoom platform, and we'll continue the discussion now. So Prithu Maharaj story continues. So last time we discussed Prithu Maharaj was trying to do the Ashwamekh Yajna. It was his 100th Yajna. Means he has done 99 sacrifice Yajna. And as we discuss, as per the Vedic rituals, the animals are sacrificed in this. Now, I made clarified also. Animals are sacrificed means they are not killed, and definitely the flesh is not eaten. It is all about sacrificing the animal, and animal was given liberation and with some mantras. It's very deep science. Although in the modern day we may say, oh, it is, oh, this is all superstitious. But uh, even if you go by modern science norms, it is possible because with mantra, so many things can be done. Sound, a sound energy. So it was all well understood science. We have lost that capability of getting into finer science. Now we are dealing with a very gross science. At the most, earth means chemical. Earth, earth, ether, water, fire, air. These are the five Panchamahabhuta. Earth, ether, water, air, fire. We are able to deal mainly with chemical. Earth means chemicals. Okay, and then at the most some fire, water. We use all this. Of course, we use air and ether also, space to some extent, but not that very sophisticated way. Although we are trying to do it because science is developing, modern science is developing. They are trying to use these subtle elements also. And of course, mind, intelligence, ego, these are very subtle, and we are nowhere near to using that also as a power, except very basic level. Okay, so basically, so the animals, and in this case, horse was to be sacrificed. Indra stole that horse because without that, yajna will not be completed. Means Indra wanted to stop the 100th sacrifice of Maharaj Rutu. Why? Because Indra was the only person who had done the 100 sacrifice. Now, after getting the 100 sacrifice, there was like, it was a part of prestigious thing, and it was a part of very, the personality will be glorified, and it will be like, it's all again, you know, tussle for power. I mean, it happens not only with us, common human being, it is happening with demigods also. So, this is a material world, and material world means all these egoistic battles, struggle for power, I am egoistic struggle. And then why we want power? Because we may get money, and we may get very high level of sense enjoyment, bodily enjoyment, and all that is a Maya. And all that is constitutes the material world. So this material world is made in such a way that we are always struggling with satisfying our ego, satisfying our senses. Struggling means actually why we struggle so much hard, because we want to satisfy our senses, all subtle senses like mind, intelligence, ego, and gross senses like our five senses. We have to earn money, we have to earn prestige, we have to maintain our position, struggle so much. And material world is made in such a way that you are trying to achieve something, there will be one more competitor there, always. And even though you achieve something, there's so much effort, so much hard work, labor. And you want to achieve something, you will be always having fear of somebody, because there will be somebody trying to dethrone you. It's all material world. There is always clash of interest. There's nothing like, oh, we say no win-win solution in the corporate world. We say win-win solution. Yes, there is a win-win solution many times, but in a reality, there is nothing like win-win. One person win, other will lose. One man's food is other man's poison, other man's poison is other man's food. So material world is made like that. Why? Is that Lord is so merciless, and does he want us to suffer just like that? No. Lord want us to understand and take action by understanding in rectifying our spirit of false ego. He wants us to understand that we will be happy with him only and in spiritual world only. We will be happy if we keep Lord in the center. Whatever we want to achieve, whatever, even sense enjoyment. Of course, Lord doesn't recommend that, but till we become more knowledgeable and till we, understand everything, we have that tendency. Even though we have to achieve something material, you have to keep Lord, you have to, in at the center, and to start detaching ourselves. So even though we have got so many desires, keep Lord in the center. Try to get whatever, try to be satisfied what Lord gives to us. Try to go by the desires of Lord, even in material life also, spiritual life definitely. And slowly you will understand that we are developing the detachment towards all this material. Because Lord gives us the benedictions, even material and spiritual, of course. Material benediction He will give in such a way that it will develop the detachment for the same material, desire or material, whatever we achieve materially. That is what Lord will give us. While if we approach to demigods, uh, uh, we may satisfy our material. He will give you some material benediction, but it will only increase the attachment towards that material benediction again and again. So that's more of a business when you deal with demigods. But when you deal with Lord, it is all about devotion. Of course, we may approach, of course, devotion is not there when you approach the Lord with material, hankering, material desire. But it is still, to some extent, there is some devotion. Because at least we are understanding and agreeing that Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is very big thing. That's very big thing. At least we are not demons. And then slowly, Lord will ensure by giving those material benediction in such a way that will not ask again, no, 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 we don't want that. It's all enough is enough. That's Lord's mercy, that's Lord's greatness, and we should follow that. So, point here is there are sacrifices, yajnas people used to do that is more of a material benefits, like Indra, because he wanted prestigious power. 100 yajna, he will be rewarded as, oh, he's very great man, very powerful. More than great, he is powerful. That is the position of Indra, who is the chief of demigod. Now, Maharaj Prithu also is doing yajna, but there is a difference. Prabhupada explains. Prabhupada explains that there is a difference. Yajna done by Maharaj Prithu is more of a duty. Duty. Why? Because he's king, he's Kshatriya, and more so is devotee. And he was actually Shaktavesh. He was actually empowered incarnation of the Lord. So he was doing his duty as a king. He wanted to make all the citizens happy. And because Earth was not happy with his predecessor, like his father, who was King Vend, she stopped giving all those ingredients which are required for happy human civilization. Grains, pearls, all the fruits, milk, all natural supplies. Abundantly, earth gives us. But we are so unfortunate. We exploit the earth, we exploit the material nature, and hence earth stops giving that or minimize that to the extent we are sinful. Exploitation is sinful. Exploitation will lead to sinful activity. Earth stop giving those supplements to the common civilization on the earth. So Maharaj Prithu, he took the charge and he told, no, you have to give. He chastised her and made her to give all those. And then she told, okay, you do some sacrifice, do some, establish the Vedic religion. Even though it is Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda, pure devotion, everything you bring. And please start this Vedic civilization, which was otherwise destroyed by his own father, Veda. So Prithu Maharaj wanted to rest. That's what his purpose of taking the incarnation. So he took that charge of the kingdom at birth and he did the sacrifice. That's why there was 19 sacrifices. He wanted to do 100 sacrifices as a part of his duty. And the earlier shlokas explained the earth was flourished with so many grains, fruits, beautiful flowers, honey, whatnot, which is given by nature abundantly. So, and people were started becoming happy. So he was doing the sacrificial ceremony. Indra was not happy because he thought he's my threat to my position. Even though he's from earthly planet, Indra thought he will get more appreciation, more famousy. So he was a bit disturbed, and Indra stole the horse, and that we discussed. It was brought again by King Pruthu's son. Again he stole, again he brought, and then ultimately, and then in that process, Indra took the external dress of sannyasi. That was the biggest offense. And he did abominable activity with the dress of sannyasi. And that's why it is said that the whole, because the whole irreligious activity, or rather doing some irreligious activity under the garb of sannyasi dress or under the garb of saintly dress started. And King Indra was offensive in that matter. So King Pruthu, but somehow King Indra was caught and brought. Rather, I mean, in the sense, King Indra was not caught that way, but he was left by Pruthu Maharaj, assuming that, oh, he's some sannyasi. He mistook him. He misunderstood him. So, but then Atri Rishi told, no, King Indra is doing this mischief. You should catch hold of him. But then Indra disappeared before he got caught. King Pruthu was very angry and he wanted to kill King Indra. And for that, he wanted King Indra to be brought near the sacrifice. So, by the time Pruthu Maharaj started preparing for catching hold of King Indra and kill him, many demigods advised him, don't do it. This way, you will not be able to catch him because he is very powerful. So better you do one more yajna in a different way, in such a way that King Indra is, brought forcefully under the influence of mantras. I mean, some mystics are there. But then Lord Brahma came again. So these are the three shlokas. So Lord Brahma came there. He said, wait, you don't do this. First of all, you will not be able to kill King Indra. And you should not kill also. It will be offense, because King Indra is not an ordinary person. He's a that way partial devotee. And he's chief of demigod. And he has done so many punya activities also, pious activities. So he has got that power to repel this thing. Although he was doing offensive activity at that moment, but due to his past good activities, he has got that power. So it's not easy to kill him. And there is no use of killing, because it will be big scene on Puthu Maharaj's side also. It will be offense. Just because the person in front of you is offensive doesn't mean you should be like that. This way, so devotee, and more so Puthu Maharaj was a devotee. Of course, Puthu Maharaj knows that. Lord Brahma said, don't kill him. Puthu Maharaj also knowing. It's all his pastime, because he has to tell the human civilization that even though somebody is offensive towards you, you need not be equally same way offensive to. Because you should try to avoid these scenes. You should try to avoid this confrontation, except the offenses towards the Lord, because devotee doesn't tolerate the offense towards Lord or his devotees. Otherwise, it's all material world. It's going to be like this. There is always karma, actions, reactions, good karma, bad action, bad reaction. You should not take those material activities so seriously. That's what Lord Brahma is telling. Why? Why to kill King Indra? Because you will get, Prithu Maharaj has done 99 sacrifices. He has got he is devotee. He is a very great personality, recognized by all the great personality. Why you should get that cheap, infamous, reputation? Of course, King Prithu Maharaj was knowing this. It was just past time it was happening there. And Lord Brahma came and said, don't kill him. There's no use of killing him. Why? Because you should not kill. He is a partial devotee, and more so he's pious person. Of course, he had done this mischief. And more importantly, even Lord Brahma was telling, King Indra, although he's such an exalted personality, does this offense, which he will get punishment in different way. That's not an issue, but you should not get indulged into this activity. And more so, if you catch hold of King Indra and sort of disturbing, he will create more disturbances, because he illusioned by false prestige issue, false ego. That's why in the material world also you'll see there are some people who are offensive and they are sinful people. They may at the most steal some wealth here and there. They'll maybe cheat you in material sense. Maybe some in terms of money, in terms of some land or some. They will cheat you. Day to day life, we see that. That is one type of sin. But that's not such a big thing as compared to what Indra was trying to do. There are some people, so some people they just want some material wealth and they're okay. They go on and they do something. But there are some demons or even human beings or even demigods. Of course, the extent may differ. Demons are horrible because they will directly kill and they will snatch away. Human being, we are in between. We don't have power also to do sins also so much. So we are restricted by our power. But we are also sinful tendencies and good tendencies also. So we do to some extent, some ghastly activities or very innocent these activities. But Indra was at an false ego platform. If you see the history, most of the battles, most of the wars or the biggest damage was done due to due to the wrong tendency of the powerful people trying to satisfy the false ego. You see that. Today's world also, earlier also, it was all about egoistic battles. And even in day-to-day life, we see the biggest damage happens when you are trying to do the something on an egoistic platform. Oh, he said me like this, I will show him. Oh, he did like this to me. And our ego. We generally doesn't get disturbed so much if somebody steals some money or cheat him some money, some bucks. Yes, we get disturbed, but not so much. We leave it for some time. We'll try to recover, leave it there. But when you are trying to enter into battle with somebody on the ego platform, false ego platform, it's very dangerous. That will destroy him, that will destroy us. Angry, we'll become angry, we may do something which we ourselves may get damaged, our wealth may get damaged just to satisfy the ego, to show him, oh, I am great, or I will not tolerate what you are. So this happens. Although we are not at fault, but we should avoid getting onto ego battle, even though we are not at fault, because it's a material nature. Lord has created this material nature in such a way that it is always testing us and it's always prompting us to stop all this and to learn that this is not worth fighting the battle. To tell us that we should not go on the ego, we should forget all this. We should not, get into the confrontation or the battle which are involving the at a false ego platform. They are very, I will say, costly, and that leads to a lot of sinful activities as compared to the what we confrontations or battles which we do for some material wealth or some basic thing. So this we should understand here. So King Indra was trying to enter into that sort of battle or that sort of confrontation with Maharaj Prithu by offending Maharaj Prithu. While Maharaj Prithu was not interested in all this sort of unnecessarily, battle or unnecessarily quarrel or unnecessarily, offensive activities. He was just trying to do his 100th yajna, sacrifice, as a part of his duty, as a part of king, as Kshatriya. Why? Because he wanted to re-establish the kingdom of religion, Vedic culture, which was lost, which was destroyed by his father Vena. So King Maharaj Prithu was in that mood, while King Indra in the other mood. And you can understand, going further in the story, King Indra also get punished and all that. But the Lord Brahma is telling here, advising Maharaj Prithu that leave all this, don't get into confrontation with King Indra, because first of all, King Indra is not ordinary, demigod also. He is much more. He's the chief of demigod, and he has got power. And what is going to happen even though your 100th sacrifice is not completed? He is now King. Lord Brahma is giving the Maharaj Ritu a very different type of advice, very important advice. Prabhupada explains that he said this is all doing the sacrifice, doing this yajna is a karma kanda activity. It's a activity, it's a karma, it's a karma kanda. It doesn't carry much spiritual or devotional point of view, much significance. You are doing your duty. Lord Brahma is telling you. Fine, if by destiny or by whatever means, circumstances, 100th sacrifice is not completed, you are not at loss because you are tried and you are anyway at such an exalted personality. And what is the use of confronting with Indra and again creating more trouble? And he will create more, he will introduce this more irreligious activity which he introduced by taking the external dress of the uh, uh, sannyasi and doing some mischief activity. So why you want to provoke Indra again? So for the want of your own good, for the want of good for all the citizens and the earthly planets, you should not get into this confrontation and say leave this. And 99 yajna you are done, already got benefit even from material point of view. More so, more importantly, Prabhupada explains, Prutu Maharaj was, of course, he was a incarnation of Lord, but in that particular, he was like devotee of Lord in that sense, Kshatriya king, and he was doing his duty. So, being a devotee of Lord, being a at a spiritual platform, why they no need of doing all these sacrifices as long as it just as long as it becomes your part of duty, fine. But if it becomes too much in terms of and comes at the cost of your reputation as a devotee, you should not worry about those sacrifices or so-called karma kanda. And Prabhupada explains that. It's very important for a devotee to understand. We may have to do our day-to-day duties or our obligatory karmas because we are in material world. We have to, satisfy all the demigods or forefathers or our peers or all our social obligations are there. We should do. But when it comes for spoiling our reputation by doing such activity, which becomes sometimes conflicting or contradictory, we should not do that because that will spoil our reputation as a devotee. Devotees, his only business is to project himself as a devotee of the Lord and just follow the devotional principles. Anything other than that, if it comes at the cost of devotional life or devotional principle, if some activity becomes conflicting or it comes at the cost of devotional service, we should stop that activity. We should not do that. Although it may appear apparently that it's important as a from material point of view. So very important situation for Prutu Maharaj, and Lord Brahma rightly advises him this that you don't get into this sort of activities. And of course, going further, that happens. But the point here is because we sometimes get this dilemma: should we do this particular material activity as a because it's obligation, but it sort of uh, contradicts or it clashes with our priorities in devotional service. So in that case, we should not do that. Otherwise, normal case we can do that. Okay, so there are a lot of discussions. Various devotees also, our ISKCON devotees also are throwing some light on this in different contexts. But Prabhupada has amply explained that for a devotee, the only topmost activity, topmost priority is devotional service, satisfying the Lord and his devotee. We should focus on that. And sometimes we have to do our day-to-day obligatory activities as a social or as a part of karma kanda or as a part of Vedic culture. We should do that as long as it doesn't affect our spiritual life. So because for devotee, chanting, reading the books, and following the Bhagavad Dharma, Bhagavatam is the topmost priority. Even in terms of knowledge also, we don't really get too much deep into the speculatory knowledge. We just follow this, our Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and those granthas, who are actually focusing on the devotional service. We don't get into too much into that, of course, as a matter of gaining more knowledge, so that we understand what is the context. We can get details of this other things, speculative knowledges also. There are so many Vedic, literature available, but the main focus is always on devotional service. We don't get carried away by this flowery language or speculative knowledge. Vedas contains all the knowledge because it's for all the people. Everybody may not be in the same guna or same platform. Somebody may be in sattva guna, somebody may be in rajo, tamo, somebody may be beyond all these gunas, like devotees, pure devotees. So Vedic knowledge is for all of them. So, but we should pick choose properly. And of course, this happens under the guidance of always senior, our gurus. That happens. Prabhupada has amply cleared in all his purport what we should read, which activity we should deprioritize against devotional service. Devotional service activities should not be deprioritized in any case. So there are so many complication that can come. So this is one of the scenario where Prithu Maharaj was advised by Lord Brahma to stop the hundred sacrifice, just because it was inviting him some infamous reputation if he would have killed Indra. Although King Indra himself was the chief of demigod. So this is one important learning here. Prabhupada makes us to learn, understand. And second part is basically, even though we should be very careful in material world, we have seen the situation of King Indra also, who is the chief of demigod. It's not an ordinary thing. We give so much respect on even those powerful personalities on the earth. We know that. So many powerful, we have so much respect. But they have done mistakes. They do mistakes and they come under illusion. That is every now and then, it's always proven. Every now and then, even the great personalities, pious personalities, good personalities also do these mistakes, because we all are under the influence of Maya. Material world it's very difficult to surpass the influence of material world. Mama Maya Durattaya, Lord Krishna says. Three gunas are very powerful, which are binding us. So King Indra is also part of material world. Of course, it's a heavenly planet. Although they is much more powerful, but they are also under the influence of material world, influence of Maya. And that's why, under the intense desire to satisfy the senses or false ego, he was trying to do this. So we should be very careful. If this can happen with King Indra, what will happen to us if we are not careful? So, of course, for devotees, if we are completely under the shelter of Guru and Lord Krishna, then definitely we can, come out of this. So the point here is, we should never think that we'll be able to, surpass Maya or progress in devotional service based on our own strength. Just because we have learned little bit in the devotional service, that doesn't mean that. Because it's very powerful. Maya is very powerful. So we should be always very, humble, in the sense that it's all about Guru's mercy. It's all about Lord's mercy on us. Then only we can progress. So we should always stick to that mood of very humble attitude. Try to come out of false ego. Of course, it's not easy, but that's the only way. And take complete shelter of Lord and his devotees. That is the best way. And then depend on Lord's mercy to see what happens with us in terms of coming out of this material world. So that is the only way, sure, short way, and very powerful way to come out of this. Otherwise, we have seen what happens with Indra also. So these are the two major learning Prabhupada made us to learn in his purport, last from Sloka's purport and this purport also. So this is a story. So story continues further. Of course, there are many facets of the story. We'll discuss that as we go further. But this is what till now we have discussed. This is what till now we have learned. So I will sort of stop here, and I can see His Grace Uttam Damodar Prabhuji has joined, and maybe he can please. I will request Prabhuji to further enlighten us on this and maybe give some more knowledge on this, and then we can get into question and answer. Hare Krishna. Thanks.
Oh, thank you very much, Hitesh and Madhav. I think you've completed the whole conversation there, and as we go forward, we'll hear more about the pastime that is going to continue here. But as you rightly said, Prithu Maharaj, being a great devotee of the Lord and incarnation of the Lord himself, took advice from Lord Brahma, saying that he should not really get into the conversation or complications with Indra. Indra will continue to do so. And this has been proven time and again. In the past, also, Indra has done this, and now also he is doing it. That's uh, maybe I wouldn't call it as ignorance of Indra, but sometimes it is the Lord's arrangement that is making it happen, saying that yes, Indra has to do this activity so that devotees can understand and learn from it. So that's very nicely narrated here. I really don't have any questions. You've already taken care of all the best part of it. If there are any other questions, devotees can ask and we can move ahead. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the very nice explanation. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thanks, Pradeep, for your time and enlightenment further. Yes. So, any questions further we can discuss, or any comments, and then we can close after that. Okay, so I think if there are no questions or comments further, we'll like to close here. And once again, thanks all of you to take your busy time in the morning. Working day is a working day today, and thanks for that again. And please keep joining this Zoom platform, and we'll continue hearing about pastimes of King Puthu. Hare Krishna. So I am closing
Hare
it.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks, Prabhu.
Hare
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I am closing the session now. Once again, thanks. Hare Krishna.